Star Wars 7x7, episode 2818. We're going to do a bit of a flashback today to Celebration Chicago and an interview I did with the head of Industrial Light and Magic, Rob Bredow, and what he had to say about visual effects. It actually kind of sounds even more interesting in light of how things have been changing over the last couple of years. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So I did the whole one-question interview thing at Celebration Chicago as well, and for Chicago the question was, when it comes to Star Wars, what do you know for sure? And the interview I did with Rob Bredow was actually the last interview I published as part of the series of interviews that I was publishing from Chicago, but it was really the first one I actually did, as it turned out. He was also at Celebration, aside from everything else going on, to help promote a book that he had just written and contributed to called ILM Presents Making Solo a Star Wars Story, which went behind the scenes of, well, you know, the making of Solo a Star Wars Story. And he actually shared some behind the scenes stuff in my interview with him. And I thought it was particularly fascinating to revisit, because one of the things that he was talking about was how, you know, visual effects is normally a thing that is considered part of the post-production process, but things have been evolving, and certainly we're seeing that with the way the live action series have been done, the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, for example, and the Kenobi series coming up. So I thought it would be fun to revisit that, considering how much things have changed in just the 3 short years since Celebration Chicago. Goodness gracious. All right, so we'll get to the interview in just a second. Before we do, I'll just tell you the stuff that I like to tell you at the end of the show, which is just thank you so much for joining me for the show, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be. And without further ado, here is my conversation with Rob Bredow from Celebration Chicago in 2019. All right, so what's your name and what's your Star Wars claim to fame?
My name's Rob Bredow. I was the visual effects supervisor and co-producer on Solo, a Star Wars Story.
You say that so humbly. It's not a huge big deal.
It was a huge big deal to me. Yeah, I had so much fun on that film with Ron Howard and the entire team. I mean, we had so much fun from beginning to end.
That's excellent. So I know your time is precious, and so I'm going to ask you one question, which is, when it comes to Star Wars, what do you know for sure?
I know for sure that Star Wars is fun. I mean, we had just so much fun putting this movie together. It was a labor of love for everybody involved. One of my most fun memories from on set was the first time we put the cast into hyperspace. We actually built a screen that we projected hyperspace onto, and the whole scene for the entire Kessel Run was on this screen. So the actors were actually really in the cockpit. We didn't tell them that we were going to do this in advance. Oh. So they got up there and it was stars, and when Lando and L3 pushed the levers up, we streaked the stars into hyperspace, and we shook the cockpit for the first time, and it blew their minds. We just had so much fun putting the cast really into hyperspace. I think Phoebe goes, "Is this thing real? Are we really going somewhere?" So we just had a lot of fun making the movie together.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And you have a book coming out next week.
I do. The book is here at the show and coming out worldwide next week. It's called ILM Presents. I work at Industrial Light and Magic. ILM Presents Making Solo. And it's really an inside look at what it was like for me to be on this movie from the very beginning of pre-production all the way through the entire film.
And for anybody who wants to keep up with what you've got going on and what ILM has going on, where should they be paying attention to you online?
Absolutely. You can look for me at R Bredow, so RBREDOW, and that's on Twitter or Instagram. And then take a look for ILM Visual Effects. So it's ILM VFX on Twitter and everywhere you want to find us online.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Great to meet you.
This 7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.